Cycling. Great fun, great exercise, and at times, great danger. While the rate of bicycle accidents in the Cambridge area has been decreasing, they are still awfully high for Cambridge to be considered the eighth safest bike city nationwide. Why is Cambridge considered so high on this scale? And how does this translate to how cyclists really feel on the road?
My name's Cody. I'm 16 years old and I've been biking for about 5 years.
Hey, I'm Miles. I'm 16 and I've been biking for 6 years now.
My name's Andrew Prescott and I've been riding most of my 41 years of my life. The name of the shop is Urban Event Tours and is our tour and rental side, and then we have Urban Cycles, our bike shop side.
My name is Craig Kelly and I'm a city councilor in Cambridge, Massachusetts.
My name is Robert Nika. I am a licensed driver now for just past 20 years, coming up on 21 years. Don't ride a bike much, but I do like to see the fact that others are out there conserving energy and not wasting fossil fuels like I do.
There are quite a few things that I like about biking. For number one, I don't have my license yet, so this is kind of my means of transportation. And it's very nice as well, living in the city, having a bike. You get to dodge the traffic most of the time. And it's kind of fun, especially on like really nice days out. You just kind of get to cruise and it's very relaxing. Also, good workout if you want.
The thing that I like most about cycling is I really just get to get out a lot of negative energy. It makes me happy and healthy. Even if I go on one ride every week, it's just I feel a lot more comfortable doing work the next week, more productive.
I like to ride my bike for fitness, for fun, for clearing my mind, and for brainstorming ideas. I just feel like it's you're moving, the blood is flowing, and I think you just get a lot more out of life, not just when you're on your bike, but even when you're off your bike.
I've been a cyclist for as long as I can remember. I cycle everywhere I go. My kids cycle everywhere they go. I met my wife while we were bicycling. I don't own a car, so biking is as much a part of my life really as breathing. And when I fall off my bike or otherwise get hurt and can't bike anymore, my life just changes terribly.
So about 5 months ago, I was driving down Grove Street on my bike. A car was taking a left-hand turn on Huron Ave, and I'm in my bike lane and I'm going straight. And so, I think I have the right of way, which I do. And this car, is coming into their left lane, and they're taking a left-hand turn, and they come right into me, right in the middle of the crosswalk, and we hit, and it was kind of tough, but I was all right.
So in the last year, I think I've been in 5 accidents, and probably the worst one was I was riding in the morning at 6:30 in the morning. I was riding through Belmont. It had just rained, and I was by myself. I took a corner too fast. There were construction cones, and I just went head over heels, over my handlebars. And I slid because it was so rainy and it was slick, but I slid really far and I hit my hip really hard into the ground, and I just got the illest road burn, and I limped home 1.5 miles. Just that wasn't fun, but I got home, went to school. That was that.
I've been fortunate to not be in very many accidents. The one I can remember the most, though, was even before I was open in the North End, going down Richmond Street, being stuck between 2 cars, and cab door opening up and pushing me into another car, and I was okay, but pretty scary.
Biking is arguably one of the most dangerous things you can do, and and my wife and my kids have all been involved in all sorts of accidents. Sometimes they're collisions with cars. Sometimes, and this happened just last December, my wife hit a patch of ice, went down, broke her clavicle, cracked some ribs, and got a concussion, cracked her helmet. One time, my most recent really bad accident was I was carrying a long set of tubes in my right hand, and they got stuck in the front wheel, and I went over and I separated my shoulder. One time on my way to law school, a car passed me and then turned in front of me, that famous right hook, and I went over and landed on my head and messed up my back and my neck and my shoulder. I have gotten in more collisions, and you think of collisions as always being in cars. I've hit jaywalkers. I'm biking down the road, and I remember one particularly in Harvard Square. I had the green light, and I'm biking down the road, but people don't look at a cyclist like they look at a car. So this person just blithely walks across the intersection against the red light because there are no cars coming, and he was pulling a travel bag. And I hit him. I wasn't going very fast, but you know, I've hit everything. I hit a rat the other day. Some of them result in my getting hospitalized, and some of them just wind up being a good story. But there are a lot of collisions involved in bicycling, and they're just of whatever stripe you can possibly imagine.
Well, me, myself as a biker, I follow the rules of the road, but not everyone does. You know, I consistently see bikers cutting in and through lanes, almost get hit by cars. But you know, same thing with cars, you know, they're always turning without putting blinkers on. Sometimes they drive without lights on at night. So, I mean, sometimes they do, sometimes they don't, but they should.
Cyclists' rules are, I believe, identical to motor vehicles. But as a driver, I can say, you know, over 70% of the bicyclists do not follow the rules of the road, and that is very frustrating for a driver.
A lot of my collisions have been because I've done something that wasn't entirely safe. Some days you just shouldn't bike. When it's too icy out, you look outside and you say, that's dangerous. And you have to accept that. And as a cyclist, it's really tough to say, I'm not going to bike today, because biking is just part of your blood. It's part of who you are. So I think in a real sort of higher level sense, the dangerous part of biking is in your mind, and not understanding to slow down, not understanding not to bike, maybe not understanding not to carry something in your hand that might impact the way you steer or the way you brake.
I think that those of us who have been riding in the city for a long time, I think our attitude is still really the same, of try to stay safe. And it doesn't matter if you have a bike lane or you don't have a bike lane. It's making eye contact with drivers. It's being aware of the road debris and changing road conditions. So I think we're more positive that we're going in the right direction, but I don't think that it means we're safer.
Some people think that Cambridge is a very safe community to bicycle. It's been rated the 8th safest place for bicycling. The Western Ave bike lane has been called this wonder of bike safety. Personally, I don't see it. I think Cambridge is an insanely dangerous place to bike. I would bet that the people who are rating it as such a safe place to bike have never tried taking their kids to school on a bicycle. I would bet that they have never tried to bicycle in the wintertime in Cambridge when the streets get really narrow and there's ice on the roads. It is a great place to bike because it's so dense. You can actually get on your bike and do something useful. So many of us who bike do it for exercise, but we also do it because it's a great way to get around town. But it's still insanely dangerous. I know next to no one who bikes in the Cambridge area who has not been hospitalized at least once while they are biking. We would not take that level of danger for any other mode of transportation. But because we're cyclists, it's okay. It just comes with the territory. So if someone's saying we're number 8, I'm saying they just don't understand biking in Cambridge.
So I've been riding on the road for a while now. I feel pretty safe. Those accidents were just points in a learning curve. And just now, in the last few months, I haven't gotten in any accidents, and I feel a lot more comfortable. And in general, I think just riding on the road is safer.
To make cycling safer, there are some areas here in Cambridge. I think Concord Avenue has done it recently. I would think to make sidewalks bigger and let the cyclists ride with the walkers and the pedestrians rather than being in the small little bike lane on a road, because if you're going to get clipped by a motor vehicle like we've had happen here in Cambridge, you're probably going to die. Whereas if a cyclist and a pedestrian kind of clip each other, it might be some broken bones or something, but no one's dying. So I've always thought that the wider sidewalks and keeping bikes and pedestrians in the same pathway was the safest way to do it.
Overall, in order to be a safer cyclist, it's really important to gain knowledge. You can do that by watching YouTube videos of professional riders, by watching tours on TV. I learned from personal experience those accidents taught me what not to do,
There's a lot of work going into making bicycling safer, and there's a couple of different buckets that work goes into. So one of the buckets is the engineering aspect. How do you make roads or sidewalks or pathways that are safer for cycling? So in Cambridge, we're trying to see what types of separated bike facilities might work. Making them safe is challenging because I think that a lot of what the city designs as bike facilities makes my life as a cyclist less safe. So I go off the edge of the separated bike lane in Kendall Square, for example, and I could fall, and I've done that. I didn't fall, but there's a 6-inch curb where I'm not expecting a 6-inch curb. The outbound Ave on Concord, they have a bike lane there that just goes in and out of driveways. Some of this stuff is horrible, horrible, horrible. The separated lanes up by the Harvard Law School that are at the same grade as Mass Ave, that sort of thing works for me. But that's an engineering situation. Some people like things, some people don't. I think another way that we're working on improving bicycling, but we're not really doing a great job, is professionalizing it. How do you act as a cyclist? Do you have a light at night? Are you alert to your surroundings? Are you wearing headphones? Are you carrying things in your hands? Does your bike have brakes that work? Are you running red lights reckless? And so there's that bucket. There's the traffic enforcement bucket, which would be how do the police and the authorities work on getting people to follow the rules. But I think cyclists themselves need to understand how to think safely.